What up? It's your boy, Andrew LaFleur, the lazy writer. And today is the first video in something like a week. And it's just going to be an update on what's going on with my light novel, my summer project. So, why has it been a week? First of all, well, I got lazy. I didn't want to make a video, and then I didn't want to make a video the next day. So I ended up not doing a video for like a week. I plan on this week kind of getting back on the horse and doing videos pretty consistently, but whatever. I hit a snag. I kind of just got sick of making videos all the time, and I didn't want to do it, so I just didn't do it. Also, I was kind of figuring out where I was going to put my summer writing project, my light novel. Was I going to put it on some sort of light novel website, or kind of like a comic book website, or just on a blog, or just somewhere else? I figured it out. It's going to take a minute for the website to get kind of processed, but I made a website for it. Yeah, so I made it my first chapter. That's cool. That was my goal. My goal was to get it sent out today on Monday. I didn't. Why? It took too long to make my website. I was too indecisive as to where I was going to put my work. So I made the website today, and it takes 48 hours for it to process. So in 48 hours minimum, I guess, or maximum rather, I will have my work somewhere. Where? On a website. I'll tell you where when it's done. But yeah, so that's that. And what are so I just want to go through some of the issues that I had encountered when writing this light novel. The first one is it's a light novel, and the writing style is so drastically different that it's uncomfortable to write. And when I say uncomfortable to write, I mean truly, it's uncomfortable to write. At times, I felt kind of cringy doing it. So some of the characteristics of light novels is it's very, 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 very direct, right? And what I mean by that is when I was in my creative writing program, they would always say, show, don't tell, show, don't tell, show, don't tell. That's a more powerful way of learning something or learning about a character. Showing, not telling. But in light novels, telling is often the way to go. So sometimes I just had to kind of, instead of finding creative ways to show a character's personality trait or let this plot element be seen, you just have to say it and straight up say it. Like no nuance, no anything. You just do it. And it was really uncomfortable for me to do that because I am so obsessed with trying to do things right. But to do it right in this instance is to do it wrong in others. So I had to get used to that. And another one was, like I've said in my initial announcement video for my summer writing project, a light novel is a Japanese-based, kind of based on anime and manga. And because of that, the dialogue and the scenes I'm choosing to use are weird. Like they're cool in anime, but when you're reading them, it's a little bit odd, and especially when I'm imagining most of the people reading this will be Western audiences. It's not gonna make that much sense unless you're a big anime person. So that's one thing I'm worried about, that I've written something that alienates people who aren't into things like manga and anime and Japanese light literature, period. But if you are, it'll be scenes that are really familiar, right? Just to give, no, I'm not going to give an example of a scene, but it's just stuff that only makes sense in the anime world. And then when I bring it to writing, it really does feel super uncomfortable. It's just weird. But I just had to say, well, I decided on this project and I'm going to see it through, even if it's kind of odd. I'm just going to see it through. So whatever, I'm seeing it through, and it's uncomfortable. It's kind of weird, and I don't know if it works all that well because I'm not 100% committed to the whole, basic structure of Japanese light novel. I'm introducing a little bit of Western elements to it, which then I'm risking alienating everybody from wanting to read it. But we'll see. It is a little weird. It's a little uncomfortable, but I'm just writing something that I wanted to write, and I want to see how it turns out. Another thing that was a little a little bit annoying about the Japanese light novel or it's not Japanese, but the light novel I'm writing that is Japanese light novel inspired, is that it's so different from my normal writing that anybody reading it, and if they've never read anything by me before, which I'm not a published author, so why would they? It's uncomfortable for me to imagine them defining my writing style by that, because it's definitely not my writing style. I have some parts in it where I would say is my writing style, but overall I'm trying to tailor it to the light novel form. So it's, is it my writing style? Is it not? Well, everything's your writing style once you write it, technically. But it's not really what normally my voice sounds like in on paper. But I just have to suck it up. Like I said, this is a project I decided to do, and I'm doing it. So that's all there is to it. You don't really get to complain past that. And I'm just saying it's an exercise in form. I'm trying to do a new form. I'm trying to do a light novel, which includes certain things. The dialogue, I think, is a little uncomfortable, but that's how it works in light novels, in my opinion. Before I started writing, I read a bunch of light novels. Like, not the full things, but a bunch of, as many as I could, the first like 5 to 10 chapters, which their chapters are, the ones published online have really short chapters, while the ones published in magazines have chapters more like my length. Mine's about 3,000 words, my first chapter. And the dialogue is weird, man. It's uncomfortable. So when I wrote mine and mine was uncomfortable, I was like, yeah, I guess that's fair, right? It's how it works. But it's not necessarily my cup of tea. But then again, writing something that isn't your cup of tea can help you out. And there's certain parts about it I really like. Again, the word light really goes well on it. It's light. I don't need to take it seriously. I'm not trying to put myself into the work. I'm not trying to say something important. I'm just trying to make something light-hearted and fun that people can just take lightly and just enjoy, right? So the light novel, I think, is a really good word for it, not just for the length, but also for the kind of, at least the attitude I'm approaching the novel. So that's that. If anybody wants to know what it's about, in the next couple of days, I'm going to make a video announcing the actual first chapter's publication, or not publication, whatever it is. I guess you do publish. It's a blog. I made a blog website, which is technically publishing, but where I'm going to be posting the chapters. And the first chapter will be posted hopefully by the latest Wednesday, but I finished it already, and it's just sitting around waiting to go on a website because I was too lazy and I didn't make my website in time. So there's that. I think I know the domain name. I could tell you that. It's thelazywriter.blog. However, it's not up yet. So if you look that up, you'll get nothing. thelazywriter.blog. We'll eventually get there. But all right, read it if you want. And I really only suggest reading it if it's what you're into. Honestly, like if you're not into anime, manga, or light novels, I wouldn't read it. It's really niche, right? Or niche, whatever you say. One of you's right. It's really niche. And if you're not into that niche, I think it's uncomfortable and weird. But if you are, I think it makes sense, actually. I think I did an okay job. I did do a couple things. I introduced 2 things that I think are interesting. I tried to introduce a little bit of the Sublime, which is in kind of the serial novel from like the Romantic era of like the Western novel. If you don't know what the Sublime is, maybe I'll make a video on what the Sublime is. But the other thing I tried to do is a little bit of free and direct discourse. I didn't do too much of it, but a little bit. Which, if you don't know what free and direct discourse is, maybe I'll do a video on it. If you like Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice, you'd probably like this. There's a fly. But all right, that's me. I'm making more videos again. I'm back in full. I'm done being as lazy as I've been. This is Andrew LaFleur, the Lazy Writer, and I'm out. Between a rock and a hard place, feeling like